Okay, welcome to the webinar today. Glad to have you here, students of Pronunciation Pro. We are going to be doing a question and answer session today so that we can address any questions you have as you're going through the Pronunciation Pro training course. Because as you go through, there's different ways to get feedback and things, but coming to these webinars, if you have any questions, this is the time to address those so we can do those together. Okay, so if you have, for all those who are on the webinar today, if you have questions, go ahead and write them in the questions box. If you haven't already emailed me, that is. So write them in the questions box and we will go through them together today. So I have a little introduction and then a few questions that were emailed to me. I'll go over those. But other than that, we're just going to, after that, we'll go through the questions that you have here today. All right, so I just have this little picture of spring break because my kids are on spring break this week. So we're having a lot of fun, but it kind of changes my schedule around a bit when they're not in school. But glad to have them around this week. This is a little introduction to me for those who are new to the program. My name is Annie Rudin, and I usually have a picture of myself here, but I didn't have anything recent. So this is actually, these are my parents and my 3 kids, and my parents are actually over in Ghana for the next 6 months, working on a program to help small businesses get started over there. And so I'm incredibly impressed. They're a great example to me of just working hard throughout their whole life. They're in their 70s and they're traveling all over the world trying to do what they can to help. So I'm very proud of them and miss them, but I'm really happy with what they're trying to do and accomplish over there. So just a little bit about myself. My name is Annie Rudin, and I'm a speech-language pathologist, which just means I have kind of all of the training and background to be able to provide a unique way of addressing accents and helping you to improve your English pronunciation and fluency. So with my training, I take a very research-based and very strategic step-by-step process in helping you improve your pronunciation and fluency and reduce your accent, and really just try and improve your American accent. So I have a master's in communication sciences and disorders, and then have several years experience just working right in accent with accent training. I really love this line of work and love the people I get to work with. That's the best part of this. So all of you have been absolutely amazing through this course. So I'm glad to be doing what I'm doing. All right, and with us we have our team members, Gideani and Andrea, who help us out. Gideani, you'll kind of be in contact with her a lot if you have any issues with your account, and email me questions about those. And Andrea has been working a lot with our Plus and Premier students. She is fantastic at that. And a little bit about Andrea for those of you who are working with her. I don't know how much she says about it, but she is one of the most adventurous people I've ever known. She takes her little baby. I think last weekend they went and they live in an area where there's a lot of snow, and they trekked up this mountain basically with their baby in tow, and slept in this yurt, kind of this little cabin thing, and they basically spent the whole weekend just skiing and doing all these things out in the wild. So she loves that kind of all that adventurous stuff, and it's pretty fun to hear about all of her adventures. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Julia, I'm glad that you're here today. I just saw that you showed up. So we're going to be first addressing the questions Julia had emailed me about. So we'll go ahead and go into those. I'm going to unmute you, Julia. Julia, are you there?
Hey.
Hello. Okay, we're finally addressing your questions. I know you emailed me about this like a week ago. All right, so let's go over. You had a couple different questions. So the first one was how do we pronounce words with French roots which start with en? Okay, and so I was looking at these specific words. You gave me some examples, and I was looking at some specific words and then researching it a bit too. And because initially I was thinking, I don't think there is a specific rule attached to it. And here's what I found is that especially with French words or some of these words that we have adopted through other languages, most times there isn't a specific rule or strategy that goes along with the pronunciation of them because they've been adapted. Some adapted over time. So some words are more true to their original French pronunciation, and some we have totally like converted over to a more of an English, American English pronunciation form of it. So, for example, something like entrepreneur. Can you say that one for me? Entrepreneur.
I'll try entrepreneur.
Perfect. Yep. So it's entrepreneur.
Entre oh, sorry.
So go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Entrepreneur. It's
Exactly.
really like, yeah.
Yeah, so that one's a tricky one. I've actually used that. I've worked on that with many students as I worked with them live because that one comes up quite a bit. Entrepreneur. And what's interesting about this is that the word stress is in the final syllable, which in French words, that tends to be the case. That final syllable gets, in French words, tends to get a lot of the stress. And so in this case, we have kept that, kind of the American pronunciation has kept that final syllable stress pronunciation of it. I actually don't know what the French pronunciation of it is. Do you know?
I don't.
Okay. I was going to say, I should have looked that one up to see how it differs from how we are doing it. But entrepreneur, so that stress is still on that final syllable. But things like envelope, okay, envelope it has really taken on more of an American pronunciation. So we have first syllable stress, envelope, and we still get the, all of the rules that apply with our vowels still apply here. So like with that second syllable, and because it's not the stress syllable, then it gets more of a reduced vowel, that So that happens a lot in American English pronunciation. And then that long O because of the silent E at the end. So envelope.
Envelope. But I've noticed some people say it like envelope with
Okay.
ah.
Yeah, so I have heard that before. Envelope is probably the more standard American pronunciation, but I have heard envelope. Please open the envelope. And that is considered more of like a more formal way of saying it. You would hear that more in more formal settings, like like for award shows or things like that. The envelope. Please open the envelope with the results. But I have heard both envelope
Okay.
and envelope. Okay. Now the other one that I wanted to make sure is this other one. If there's no E at the end, then it's envelop. Okay.
Envelope.
Yeah. So envelop means to encircle or surround. Um, Envelope is, where you put something that you put a letter in, but envelop without the E is to surround or wrap around something. So that pronunciation changes, and the stress especially changes. Envelop. Okay. So say that one for me.
Envelope.
Yeah, there you go. So be aware of those two. Just that difference of that one E really changes the pronunciation of that and the meaning of it. Okay, and then the final one, ensemble. Say that one for me.
Ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
It
Ensemble.
doesn't sound American English.
Yes. So that one becomes, yeah, ensemble. So that's an interesting one because it's, so with the American English pronunciation, it really would become ensemble, but it has still taken on a little bit more of the French pronunciation. It hasn't fully adapted like envelope has. And so in ensemble still has a little bit more of that French pronunciation. So like I said, it depends a lot on how long we've been using that word and how much it's adapted to the American pronunciation rules. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. So
Thanks.
go ahead.
Just thanks. It's very good to know.
Okay, good. Good. And then actually stay on real quick because you had one more question. It said, you said, does vowel to vowel connection rule apply to one long word if it has two vowels in a row? Is there a W glide in outgoing? So for all of those who haven't quite made it to the linking lesson in week 7, I want to say 6 or 7, we talk about kind of linking and connecting either consonant to vowel, vowel to consonant, or vowel to vowel, and the rules that apply. So when we're connecting a vowel to vowel, a lot of times a glide ends up going in there, and a glide can be like a W or a Y sound in there so that it's easier to get from a vowel to the vowel. So in the linking lesson, we were talking about kind of the end of one word to the beginning of the next and linking those vowels together. But where Julia's asking, well, what if it's in the middle of a word, kind of those vowels are right next to each other, do we still kind of use that glide? And the answer is yes.
Hey, I knew it.
Yes. So you definitely had that right. And I love how you have it written out here because it's exactly right. So out, go, and with that long O there, and then going. Yeah, so there's a little bit of, to get from the long O, kind of that O position to the E, it helps our mouth to kind of add a little bit of a glide in there. Going, outgoing. Yeah, so you hear that w sound in there a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's perfect. So say that one for me.
Outgoing.
Mm-hmm. So say, the boy was very outgoing.
The boy was very outgoing.
Mm-hmm. So get that stress. The boy was very outgoing.
The boy was very outgoing.
Mm-hmm. Going. Good. So
Yeah.
good. And that kind of makes me, let me just talk a little bit to that stress pattern. Is I talk a lot about when we're doing the stress and the kind of that rhythm of English. Think of it as going up and down hills. Outgoing. So outgoing. You go up and down that
Outgoing.
hill. Yeah, so do it for me.
Outgoing.
Outgoing. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, thank you for your questions, Julie. That was perfect.
Thank you very much for answering.
Uh-huh. And if you have more questions throughout the lesson, be sure to ask, okay? All right, so I had one question from Adam. He just had a couple of words that he was wondering about. The first is anxiety. Ooh, what did I do here? Oh, I think I messed that up. So this is incorrect. So let me actually change that here. Anxiety. Okay. So anxiety, ang. So we start with that long A, ang, and then zai with the long I, anxiety. So that's that Z sound, anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. So it doesn't quite, that with the pronunciation rules, this extra sound in here gets more of a pronunciation where really if we followed it would be anxiety. But the way that we adapted it, anxiety kind of adds an extra syllable there. The other one is anxious. So we have that same beginning, ang, and then shus, shus. That Xious kind of gets to shus, anxious. Does anybody want to try that? Those two words. You can just go ahead and do the raised hand icon if you want to volunteer and do those. Anxiety and anxious. Anybody there? Okay. Well, Adam's not here today yet, so we'll go ahead and, oh, Sunny, there we go. Hi, Sunny, you there?
Hi, Annie, how are you?
Good, good. You want to try these two words?
Yes, anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
anxious. How you say the second one again?
Yeah, so you got to get that ang. It's kind of like the ing sound. Ang, anxious.
Anxious.
So do ang for me. Ang.
Ang.
And then shus.
Anxious.
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 Yeah, and get that G back there. Ang. Ang.
Ang.
I want to hear a little bit more of a G. Ang. Ang.
Ang.
G.
Ang. G. G.
Ang.
Ang.
There you go.
Anxious.
Anxious. So let's break it apart. Ang. Anxious.
Anxious. Anxious.
Anxious.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Anxious.
Perfect. Do it again.
Anxious.
And do it again.
Anxious.
Yep. Do it again.
Anxious.
Okay. Now pull it all together. Anxious.
Anxious.
Okay. So
the first one's a lot easier.
Yeah. So that first one, that's why I like to have people try it because, so I can kind of see where it becomes tricky. So anxiety, anxious. Do those for me.
Anxious. Anxiety, anxious.
And the trick.
The last one, like how you break down for your wooden phonetic, shus. How you pronounce this one? sh.
Yeah, so it's that like shut.
Shush.
Yeah, if you do shut with a T at the end, shut, like shut the door.
Shush. And shush. I'm still having trouble, how you blend it in, sounds, to make it, how you pronounce the word, based on the last lesson, the webinar that we have. So I'm still trying how you, slowly and blend it faster to make the sound pronounce how it's supposed to pronounce.
Oh, okay. So taking a word and breaking it apart and then bringing it together?
Yes.
Yeah, so we've done that with anxious. We kind of broke it down, and then it kind of has to come and blend together, right? Yes. So the trick there, when you have it separated, like we did anxious, right? Anxious. Then it's kind of, if you think about it, you have these two words that are separated, and then we're bringing them closer and closer together as far as how fast you move from one to the next. And so the G, and this is an interesting kind of transition because we're getting all the way from the back of the throat all the way to the front with that SH. So we're going from the G, ang, to the SH in the front. So gush, gush.
Gush. Anxious. Anxious.
Anxious. Good, yeah. So, yeah, keep doing that. Anx. Yeah, you're getting it. Anx. Do it again. And then get this sh. Anxious.
Anxious. So even you also explain how you blend it slowly and then faster, to produce the sound that the word's supposed to pronounce. And I still even though I start with the easy word cat, I still if I don't know that word k at add, cat, like, how, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
starting with the baby word, so how to blend it together. I'm still having trouble.
Okay, so
Yeah,
even
I
like
know.
when you're
I think,
speaking, like all the time when we're speaking, we're blending words together, right? I mean, even as
yeah.
you're just explaining that, you're blending all of your words together beautifully. Okay, so
Mhm.
you're blending all those words together. So it's only when you come across a word that is kind of an unfamiliar word, like anxious, right?
Yes.
Anxious,
Mhm.
that we've got to figure out, okay, how do we get all of those sounds in there and blend them together so we're not dropping any sounds in it. So that's the big trick there is when you do come across a word that's hard for your mouth to kind of get through, that's when you break it down and you kind of work. So like cat, so at, ca,
Mhm.
you're going to just take two sounds in a word,
Mhm.
ca, at, cat, cat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's just that blending them all together. So you're just moving from one sound to the next.
Okay, great. Thank you
Okay?
so much.
All right, good. Okay, and actually, I should probably so Sunny, I'm actually going to come back to you. Oops. I'm going to come back to you because
Oh, yes, great.
there were some questions you had here. So let me just bring up these specific words, okay? So say these words for me.
Fine.
So that
Fine.
it's that N sound at the end. Fine, fine.
Fine.
You
Mm,
want to make sure that
mm,
there's still that
mm, mm.
ending.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
And for you,
Fine.
Sunny, the biggest thing is for those ending sounds. And you've probably
Yes.
talked with Andrea about that, is just making sure
Yes.
those ending sounds get in there, right?
I've been to a bad habit, dropping it so long, so it's hard to bring that back in and how to put the tongue together to produce those sounds. It's
Mm-hmm.
still a little tricky. Yes.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, so
Fine.
here's what I really want you to concentrate on, because like when you said bring it back in, so
Mm,
you had dropped that K sound in back.
mm,
So what you'll want to do is you have to just link it. Okay, so
mm.
bring it back in, back in. So think
Back
of it as that
in.
K as you're kind of launching into that next one, back in,
Back in. Bring it back in.
back
In.
in, back in.
Back in.
So whenever I have people who are having a hard time getting that ending sound, I have them concentrate on linking it. Okay, so it's
Oh.
not just back in. We want to link it and connect it to the next word, back in. So think of
Back
it
in.
as just one big word because you're not dropping sounds in the middle of the word, you're dropping at the end. So if we kind of just pretend like they're all one big word, then it'll be easier to get that K in there. So bring it back in.
Bring it back in. Back in.
There you go, back in. Get that
So
ending word.
also the linking is another lesson too,
Yes.
right?
So the linking is
Okay.
going to be another lesson, but I'll talk to Andrea and tell her to kind of address that with you and just say, okay,
Mhm.
let's just practice when we're working on that ending sound. Let's practice linking and connecting it to the next word. So linking
Okay.
just means moving from one sound smoothly to the next. Okay,
Okay.
so when you're dropping those ending sounds, just think, okay, I'm going to get that ending sound and I'm going to carry it directly into the next sound.
Okay.
Okay? All right, say this
So
next one for me.
government.
Mm-hmm.
Government.
Government. Yeah, government. So
Gov-
government. It's kind of
gov-
government.
government.
Government. So the trick is just that N in the middle. Govern.
Mhm.
Government. So you're going from the N to the M. Government.
Government.
Mm-hmm. Good. And it's first syllable stress. Okay, do the next one.
That's when I have trouble. The th is a void or voiceless.
This one's
Void.
voiceless. Thrive.
Voiceless. Uh, dry. Dry.
Okay.
Dry.
So we're going to do TH sound, voiceless. Uh-huh.
Dry.
Uh-huh. Thur.
Dry.
Do this one.
Uh,
Thur.
uh,
Thur.
der.
Thur.
Der. Der.
Thur. So say 3.
3,
Uh-huh.
3,
3.
3. I have to remember to put my tongue in the right position.
Yeah. So that's the trick with the TH. And for all of you who are working on that TH sound, it is just a matter of getting comfortable with that tongue between your teeth instead of either at the top or kind of behind. Thrive. Thrive.
Thrive, thrive,
So you're going to want to practice
thrive,
thir, thir, thir,
thir,
thir.
thir, thir, thir.
Mm-hmm.
Annie, also one, how you determine what is voice TH or voiceless TH?
Yeah, so that's a good question. It's there isn't just an automatic, okay, here's how you know it's a voiced and here's how you know it's a voiceless. I will tell you that voiced tends to be more common in the beginning of the word. It very rarely happens at the end of the word. Okay? So voiced sounds like the, this, them, they, their, those are all voiced. Okay? Voiceless sounds are less common in the beginning of the word, but they do happen more at the end of the word. Okay?
I know thank is the beginning of
Thank
TH,
you.
but it's
Yeah,
voiceless.
thank you.
Yeah, thank, yeah.
Yeah, so I try in the worksheets to give you as many of the most common words as possible. But the thing that I usually have my students concentrate on is if you have your mouth in the right position, you'll get probably 95% of them correct. Because, you know, there tends to be like with my students, if you're doing like a T or a D instead of the TH sound, a lot of times when it's a voiceless sound, you're doing a T already, which is voiceless. And if it's a voice sound, you're doing D already, which is voiced. So you're already kind of substituting it for the right voiced or voiceless sound. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so a lot of times I just say, okay, get your mouth in the right position. And more often than not, you know, the majority of the time you're going to get the voicing correct. There might be a word like a more unusual word that comes up that you'll have to kind of identify, oh, is this voiced or voiceless? And then you look it up on dictionary.com and it'll tell you, you know. But for the most part, you'll be able to figure it out just by putting your mouth in the right position, because both the voiced and voiceless sound get the, you know, right there in the between the teeth.
Also, for the TH sound, in the beginning, do you have the tongue and the mouth position the same for both voice and voiceless? Do you have to make sure that the voice sound like saying like the Z sound, like the voiceless, like the little S sound?
Yeah,
Like,
so think of it like the word the. If you did a voiceless sound on the, it would be th, th,
mm,
th,
yeah,
th. So it would be a little bit of a different, you know, it would have a different quality to it. The versus th, th. So I mean, there is definitely a difference there. The trick is just going through those worksheets and getting those most common words, you know, solid, and making sure your mouth's in the right position, and it'll come along. Okay.
okay. So it had to be, my mouth had to be the right position in order to produce those correct sounds.
Yeah. So both voiced and voiceless always are going to be in the same position.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So real quick, Sunny, I'm going to go over to the other questions, and then I'm going to come back to these words. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to address some of the questions that that some of you are writing in here, so that we can make sure we get to everybody. Okay, so Osvaldo says, I'm working on the Z sound. I don't quite get the right sound, especially when the S sounds like a Z. I reviewed the bonus lessons, but I don't sound right. Okay, so let me go ahead and give me a second. I'm just going to pull up. I'm going to pull up a more of a worksheet for that. Let's see what I have here. Sounds. All right, so Valdo, we'll work on this together. There you are. Okay, Osvaldo, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. All right, good. So you're having a hard time with the Z, the voice to Z, right?
Z.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, good. And this is common. Are you a Spanish speaker?
Yes, I am
Yes.
Spanish
Okay,
speaker.
so that's for Spanish speakers. This is a big one because a lot of times that Z sound doesn't get voiced. A lot of times what you're doing is the voiceless S sound instead of the voiced Z. Okay.
Yes, Andrea is constantly correcting me about the Z, like in zoo or like we said before, anxiety.
Anxiety, yeah. Anxiety, yeah, getting that Z in there. Okay, so let me hear you read some of these words so that I can hear if you're getting that Z sound in there.
Okay. Sometimes I think I make it too strong.
Okay.
The idea when S sound like Z is mild, no, it's not strong Z.
Okay.
So that is not is or rise, pose, eyes, confuse, easy, this, was.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to stop you real quick. So what you kind of feel is too much is too little to me. Okay.
Okay.
So for you, it's feeling like, oh, I'm doing too much of an emphasis, and I'm thinking I want more. So
Okay.
so I want you to practice it, just really, really emphasize, so we can engage that throat and get that strong Z. So is.
Okay. Is. Okay. Rise. Okay. Pose. Eyes. Confuse. Easy. Says.
A little bit more.
That is a difficult one.
Yeah, because it has the S and the Z. Says.
Says. Says.
Good.
Was. Rise. Rose. Ties. These. Reason. Days. His. Lose. And that is a difficult one. This is the sound of the cows.
So this could be mows, like he mows his lawn. He cuts his grass. He mows his lawn.
Okay. Mows. What is this only one accent, but in what vowel is in the vowel or on the O?
Oh, this is one syllable, so it's all just one. Do you mean the stress? So mows is just one syllable, so the whole thing gets the stress. Mows.
Flies.
Okay, a little bit more. Flies. There you go. You stopped and corrected yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Those. Movies. Shoes. Has. Use. Flows. Goodbyes. Because. Visit. And busy.
Do that again. Busy.
Busy. Busy.
Busy. Another one is cities. Cities. Say that for me. Cities.
Cities.
That one is always tricky for my Spanish speakers. So if you go cities, there are many cities.
Can you do the root and phonetic for cities?
Yeah.
Cities.
Yeah. So the trick here, I don't want it to be CDs, right? Like the music CDs, and that we want it to be a short I. So CDs. Cities. So you're going to do cities. So first syllable stress, cities.
Cities.
So what's tricky about this one is you have the S and the Z, and then you have the short I and the long E. So cities.
Cities.
Cities. Good.
And the other one, CD, is ZD.
Yeah. CD, like I have a music CD, like that, right? CD is going to be CD.
CD.
D. CD, cities.
No C sound there.
So CDs, if you do, like say if you're doing, I have several CDs, then it would be that. Okay, with the Z at the end. Okay.
Okay.
So when coming back to the S sound and the Z sound, the way that you did that the second time where you're really emphasizing it, that sounds normal. That sounds like a normal, good, strong Z. Where it sounds so overemphasized to you is going to sound perfect. Okay?
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so
Perfect,
just practice with that overemphasized Z and you're going to get that strong voice to it. Okay?
Okay. Like in zoo, or
Yes.
the only one I don't quite get is anxiety. It's the routine phonetic you put is. Okay, I just get it. I was confusing the long E with an L. That is the reason I didn't get the routine
sorry.
phonetics and
Yeah,
anxiety.
I think it's my font here. Anxiety.
No, I just get it. So what's my confusion?
Okay, yeah.
Annie.
I need to change my font here. Okay, thanks, Osvaldo. Okay, all right, let's get into... Okay, Canon, let's see, says, I speak the Turkish language. People don't understand me usually. Let's see. Canon, let's talk for a minute. Let's see, where are you? Okay, there you go. Canon, are you there? Oh, doesn't look like Canon's mic is. Canon, you there?
Yes, I am here.
Okay.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. All right,
Yeah.
so you're saying that you're having, are you new to the program?
Yeah, I start your program, but has a problem because you said my credit card doesn't work monthly. So you stopped my, I can't reach you right now because you stopped the program.
Oh, okay, so there was some kind of a payment issue.
But yeah, I will try start again.
Okay.
But right now I want to ask just W. When I use the verb start with the W, I can't say properly. People doesn't understand me.
Okay.
When I say what, where, something like that.
What were you wearing? Okay, so let's try a few of these. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, say these for me. Water.
Water.
How about what were you wearing?
What were you wearing?
Okay.
What were you wearing?
Okay, so here's what I'm hearing is that W, what you're wanting, your mouth is wanting to do is a V sound.
Yeah.
V sound. Okay, so instead of wah 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 with the lips rounded like this, wah wah wah. What your mouth is doing is va va va, va va va, with your teeth hitting your bottom lip, va va va. So your mouth's wanting saying what were you wearing, okay? So what you need to do is make sure that wah wah wah, we get that W sound in there. And actually, let me see if I bear with me a second. Let me see if I can grab a just a list of W words so that we can practice just that sound. Because what you're going to want to do, and as you get back into the program, you know, these lessons or these worksheets are kind of in the bonus lessons. But what you're going to want to do is first you concentrate on making sure you hear the sounds. So those listening quizzes. So you want to make sure. So let's just do a little listening quiz right now, okay? So I'm going to say one of these words. You tell me if I'm saying the first word or the second word, okay? Okay, you ready? So I'm going to say the number one. I'm going to either say the first word or the second word, and you tell me which one I'm saying, okay? All right, so number one, vow, vow, vow.
I don't know how I answer it to you.
Okay.
I don't understand your question right now.
Okay, let me explain a little bit more. So in these listening quiz, what I want you to do is I want to see if you hear the difference between a W sound and a V sound.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to say one of these words, And I want you to listen and tell me, am I saying the first word or the second word?
W or we, okay.
Yeah? Okay, so for number one, I'm going to say one of these, and you tell me which one, either first word or second word that I'm saying, okay? So number one, thou, thou, thou.
First one.
Okay, so I said actually the second word, thou. The first word is wow. So I'm going to contrast those. Wow, thou. Wow, thou. Okay, do you hear a difference there, or does it sound the same to you?
Second one.
So does it sound? I was saying both of them at that point.
Actually, I don't understand exactly what to ask me.
Okay.
Anlayamıyorum ne sorduğunu burada.
Okay, so the trick that you're going to want to do as you get back into the course is going through the process of being able to hear the difference, because I don't think you're hearing the difference between W and V. To you, it might sound the same.
Okay, I think so. I have to look your course and then I ask this question again.
Okay, perfect. We'll get back to you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. I will start very soon.
Perfect. Thanks,
Thank
Kenneth.
you. Bye.
Okay, good. All right, so that concept of being able to do the listening quiz first, hopefully all of you kind of understood that in order to be able to say that W sound, she needs to hear it first. Okay, so she was having a hard time with the W versus the V sound, and unless she hears that sound different, then it's going to be difficult to really correct that sound. So for all of you who are working on a specific sound, make sure that you're getting those listening quizzes correctly and you're able to hear it before you move on. Okay, let's see. Let's go through. Okay, so that's why. I am so sorry. Canon, I wasn't showing my worksheet to you. That's why it was confusing to you. So I didn't realize that my worksheet wasn't showing. So that was the confusion there. So I apologize for that. I'll go ahead and send you that worksheet so that you can get a feel for that. So sorry about that. Okay, so let's see. Let's jump into, so Julia, I said, one more question. How do you pronounce words like months, strengths, and baths? Okay, so let me go into this worksheet here. Everybody seeing that? Sorry about that confusion there. So months, strengths, and baths. Okay, so what we're working on here is that THS transition. So Julia, I'm going to unmute you. Julia, you there? Julia, you there?
Hello. Check.
Hello.
Check.
All right, good. Okay, so that THS. So what we're going to do is we're going to isolate just the THS sound. So we got to get that THS. So you're going to do the voiceless TH and then the voiceless S. So basically, your tongue is going to be between your teeth and then pulled back in right behind your teeth very quickly. So I know it can be really confusing for your tongue. Your tongue's not going to want to do it at first. Months.
Months.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Can I just say months with T?
Yeah. Yeah, so strengths and baths. Yeah. That actually works just as good. So if that THS sound is a hard one to kind of get that TH to, months, and kind of having a T sound instead of the TH sound sounds close enough that most native speakers probably say it that way anyway. Okay, so say those for me. Months.
Months.
Mm-hmm.
Months.
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 And do it with more of a T sound. Let me hear how it sounds.
Months. Months.
Months. So
Months.
yeah, so do it kind of without that TH sound. Months.
Months.
There you go. Just do that one without the TH sound. So same with like clothes. Clothes. My clothes are fitting well. My clothes.
My clothes.
Yeah. So most people, most native speakers are going to pronounce it very similar to clothes. My clothes. Okay, because that THS sound is even difficult for native speakers. So strengths. Strengths.
Strengths. Strengths.
So instead of the TH sound, just go strengths. Strengths.
Strengths. Strengths.
So in connected speech, as you say, what are your strengths and weaknesses? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Just take that TH out. Strengths.
Got it.
And then bass. Bass. So this one's going to be tricky because you kind of need that TH. Take bass. Bass. Because the other word is bass. Bass and baths. So it sounds pretty similar, but in context, I think if you didn't have that TH in there, it would still be fine. Okay? So in those, months, strengths, bass, clothes. Do all those for me.
Months, strengths, bass, clothes.
I'd say that is just as close as anything a native speaker is going to say.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, because there's the accurate pronunciation if we're going to be completely and totally precise about our pronunciation, but we all know that native speakers don't do that all the time, and a lot of times it's going with what's easier. So that what's standard, those reductions or standard reductions, then become more of how the native how native speakers are using that. So that's one of those standard reductions that most native speakers are going to do. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go back to, so Sunny, let's go back to, I think we've gone through all of the, we've gone through the questions. If you still have questions, go ahead and write them in. But I'm going to go into some of the other questions, some of the words that Sunny, you wanted to go over. Sunny, you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, so let's go through the rest of your words, and then I want to jump in and have you just go through a list, some of those voiced and voiceless TH sounds. So we really. All right, so let's go through this next one. So yogurt and yoga. Okay, so say the first one.
Yogurt. Yogurt.
Okay, so we're going to want to get that grr. Say that for me, grr.
Yogurt.
Grr. So you're dropping the T at the end. So yogurt.
Yogurt.
Get that T.
Yogurt.
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 So the reason it's sounding like yoga is because you're not getting the strong R and you're not getting the ending T. So you got to get those R and T at the end. Yogurt. Gurt. So say that for me. Gurt.
Gurt. Yogurt.
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 That strong R and then the T at the end. Okay?
Yogurt. Okay,
yes.
I will practice.
Yep. Okay, and then the next one. Say that next one for me.
Umbrella.
Umbrella. Umbrella.
That's, I didn't stress this correctly in this word. Umbrella.
Okay, so it's second syllable stress. Umbrella.
Umbrella.
And you're going to get that la at the end. Umbrella.
Umbrella. La. Umbrella.
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 Yep, exactly.
Umbrella.
Okay, this one's a tricky one. Cholesterol. Let's see. Cholesterol. cholesterol.
Well, this
Cholesterol.
one I always got stuck.
Cholesterol.
Cholesterol. I missing something.
Yeah, so it's that. So do cholesterol.
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 So when you break down the word, how you break down the CHOL, the CHO, and the LES, and then TEROL together? So three syllable.
Yeah. So one, and this is a common reduction. Cholesterol. It should be cholesterol. Cholesterol is cholesterol. I'd have to look that one up and see how normally it is. But my favorite, and I have actually been going through like dictionary.com versus some of these other, Myers. I forget the name of some of the other online dictionary ones, but I like dictionary.com because they write it out similar to Rudin phonetics. And so they give you a better kind of gauge instead of the International Phonetic Alphabet, which is great, but not everybody knows it. They write it out kind of like Rudin phonetics, and it makes it a little bit easier. So you can listen to it and you can see the kind of breakdown in syllables. And they give a little stress mark on the stress syllable. So it really helps in being able to break it down.
Yes, I have a dictionary.com app installed on my phone already. So
perfect. Yeah, so I like that one the best for me. Okay, so Buena Vista, and so this is going to be a Spanish pronunciation, Spanish word, and it's going to the American pronunciation of this Spanish word. We tend to say buena. I'm not sure exactly what it is for Spanish. Buena Vista is how I would pronounce it.
Buena Vista.
Good. Buena Vista. Yeah, 2 syllables. Buena.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. Okay, so practice those. I'm going to jump over to another question, and then if you have time, we'll do the TH together more. Okay?
Great. Thank you.
Fatuma, let's see. Or Fatima. Again, I apologize for my pronunciation. Okay, so I've unmuted you, but it doesn't look like your microphone is active right now. So I'm going to keep you unmuted. Fatuma. So she's having a hard time between the L and the R. The L and the R. So I would love to be able to hear you say it. So I'm going to keep you unmuted. If you could get your microphone working, then we can go over this question with you. So the L and the R, and let me just kind of explain a little bit with the L and the R. The L, la, 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 is going to have your tongue coming up and touching right behind your front teeth. La, 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 la. The R is going to have the tongue tip down and the back of the tongue bunched in the back of the throat. So ra, 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 ra. So actually, it was kind of interesting. My husband and I had a miscommunication the other day because I said I was giving him directions on where to take my son to soccer practice or our son to soccer practice. And I said, take the first or take a right at the first light. Okay. And he thought I said, take the first right. I think it was something like that. So I'm like, oh, those R's and L's there, that would be a good one. So does anybody else have a problem with the L's and the R's that want to kind of say these for me? Let's see. No, okay. Fatima, let's. I'm going to keep you unmuted, and if you are able to get that microphone going, then we'll go over these together. Okay. All right. Let's go back, Sunny. I'm going to come back to you, and let's go over those th sounds because I want to make sure that you get those fully. Sunny, you there?
Yes. Thank you for spending more time with me. Thanks.
Yeah, I always just kind of go with where the questions are, and if the people are asking questions, then we answer them. So, okay. So let's go over. I'm going to have you just practice the words, get a lot of repetition with the words in some of these, and then we'll go into a few sentences. And if anybody else wants to practice the th sound, definitely just kind of put your hand up, the raise hand icon there. Put your hand up if you want to practice with us, if th sounds are kind of an area that you're struggling with. Okay, so go ahead down those word practice. So this, that, the.
This, that, the, then, those, this, they, these, die.
Good. So the only one I would say those. Get that long O. Those.
Those. Those.
Good. Okay, I'm going to go into the voiceless. Let me just kind of have you say the voiceless words. So thank, thaw, thick, thief. Go through that.
Thanks, thought, thick, thief.
And then do thigh. Yeah.
Thigh, thing, things, think, the, three.
Okay, get the ending. Third,
three.
and then three. Good. So I'm going to say that voiceless th is probably where you're going to want to practice the most. So on this worksheet, the worksheets with the voiceless th, that's probably the area that your mouth is struggling with the most.
Yes.
Okay. Here, real quick, I'm going to unmute you, and I'm going to mute you and have some other people try this too. Okay. Let's see. Fatima, did you get your microphone working? Okay, I thought I saw. So Anar, are you there?
Yes.
Anar?
Good morning.
Okay. Hi. You want to try those th sounds? Do you know if it's the voiceless or the voice sounds that you need to practice more? Or do you want to try both?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go. I'm going to go up here and let me hear your voiced sound. So this, that, the, go down the list for me.
This, that, the, them, then, those, this, they, thy.
Good. Okay, get the. I want to hear 3 sentences. So this car belongs to them.
This car belongs to them.
Okay, get that a little bit more. Them.
Playing. Please.
So on the first one, I heard a little bit more of a Z sound instead of a TH sound. So this car belongs to them.
This car belongs to them.
Good. Next one.
The girls spend all of their time playing.
Next one.
Wait for them over there.
Good. Okay. Good. I want to hear the voiceless sounds now. Okay. So say these voiceless words, practice words. Thank, thaw.
Thank, thaw, thick, thief, sigh, thin, think, third, three.
Good. Okay. I want to hear 3 sentences. Thank you for the thermos.
Thank you for the thermos.
The
thunder scares away the thief. 3 friends and I attend the theater.
Okay, the theater. Do that again. The theater.
3 friends and I attended the theater.
Okay, good. Okay, so for you, I would say practice the voice TH sounds more, okay? So those the, this, them, they, because those sounds are so common in English, you want to make sure that those are nice and clear. And that's, your tongue is still having a hard time kind of getting into that position every time. So those voiced TH sounds. Okay, concentrate on those. All right?
Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, let's see. I said, Julia, you there?
Yeah,
Okay, you want to try some of these?
sure.
Okay, so
This,
this.
that, the, them, then, those, these, they, thee, thy.
Perfect. Okay, do 3 sentences for me.
This car belongs to them. The girls spend all their time playing. Wait for them over there.
Perfect. Yep, that sounds really good. And you had a nice fluid movement to it, so that sounds really nice. All right, next one.
Think, saw, think, thief, sigh, seen, think, third, 3.
Good. Okay, 3 sentences.
Thank you for the thermos. The thunder scared away the thief. It's really hard to say the and thief.
Yes, that's why we put that in there. Yep, to get the between the voiceless and the voice sounds. The thunder, the thunder.
The thunder, the thunder.
So whenever you find yourself, oh, that's hard, I want you to repeat that like 10 times before you move on, okay? Okay, let's do the third sentence.
3 friends and I attended the theater.
Good, very nice. Great job, Julia. Okay, Sunny, I didn't have you do the sentences. Let me unmute you and just do sentences real quick. Okay, say do 3 sentences here. Sunny, you there? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for the thermos. The thunder scared away the thief. 3 friends and I attended the theater.
Okay, so it's that, so that voiceless sound, you're going to want to go through these and really, the theater, the theater.
Theater.
Theater. Just make sure with the voiceless sound, there's a little bit of an airflow that comes out. Theater, theater.
Theater, theater. Theater.
All right, good.
Thank you.
All right, great questions today. Glad you're all able to come. Let me jump over to my slideshow real quick. All right, so if you have any other questions, go ahead and email me, Annie@pronunciationpro.com. We're here to help and kind of help you get move along and really be able to fully understand what you're learning in that course. That's what these webinars are about, is if you have questions, you need kind of some feedback through it, these are great. These webinars are a great way for you to really understand that. So sorry we weren't able to get all the questions and the microphones working the way we wanted, but hopefully we can get that going next time. But email me any questions that you have for the next webinar, and we'll be sure to address those. And keep practicing. That's the whole idea, is that as you consistently practice, then you will be able to get to your end goal. I promise you that. But it does take retraining that mouth, and that has to be done with consistent practice. So just set aside a certain amount of a day, read out loud, read the worksheets, read the lessons that you're going through, and just have that focused practice every day and commit to that, and keep moving forward with the course. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for coming today, and have a great spring wherever you are, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.